Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, aka the guy who's his own worst enemy like Doctor Strange, and in the wake of What If Episode 4, I have a brand new theory about what could be happening in the MCU. The entry sets up a potential big bad in the Marvel Universe, and it is possible that this guy is actually the one behind it all. Yes, for real this time, it's not those other guys, it's really him, for real, this time I swear. Now throughout this video, we'll be going over the theory as well as discussing some of the leaks on In the Multiverse of Madness. There will be heavy spoilers here, so if you don't want anything ruined, then I recommend you destroy your entire reality. Yes, I'm that serious. If you enjoyed the video, then please smash the thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe for breakdowns like this each and every day. With that out of the way, thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into our Doctor Strange Supreme Theory. Okay, so episode 4 of What If introduces us to one of the darkest characters we've ever come across in the MCU. In the multiverse, we meet a version of Doctor Strange that lost the love of his life rather than the use of his hands. Grief-stricken and obsessed with bringing her back, we watch the origin story for Strange Supreme, in which the character destroys his entire reality in order to achieve his goals. It's absolutely heartbreaking, and in the end, though all seems lost, we do know that the character will be returning down the line at some point. The trailers have already shown him meeting Captain Carter, and therefore we know that he hasn't been doomed to float through the endless void on a desolate purple rock. Seems fun, it really does. Now I think it is safe to assume though that due to his vast abilities, that he will be able to break out of this and travel across the multiverse. In doing so, he'll not only have access to the other realities in What If, but also the main MCU timeline. Now this is where the second part of our theory comes into play, and that is that he will actually be the one who's influencing Wanda to act a certain way. According to plot leaks on In the Multiverse of Madness, she will actually be the villain of the piece, and Wandavision very much teased towards this in the post-credit scene of episode 9. In it, we could catch Wanda looking through the Darkhold, attempting to find a way to improve her powers. Though we don't know her full motives yet, I think it's safe to assume that she's looking for a way to enhance her abilities so that her children can be brought back to life. In the Wandavision finale, we watched as they ceased to exist with the collapse of the Hex, and therefore it does seem likely that Wanda would want to find a way to improve her powers to keep them alive forever. I am going to be breaking this down in more detail, but just to add some more context to the clip, let's play the post-credits scene so that we can see exactly what's going on. Okay, so as you can hear, Wanda's kids scream out and they beg for help. This makes me think that someone has them, and as we know, it isn't Agatha, as she's now trapped in her own personal hell, which is almost as bad as 2021. Now at the time of the episode's release, it was theorized that this could be a number of people, including Mephisto and also Chthon. In case you don't know, Chthon was the author that created the Darkhold, and he did this below Wundagore Mountain. It is possible that this is what Wanda was sat in front of during the post-credits scene, and other ties to the character included that he once possessed Quicksilver. However, after watching What If, I think it's possible that it's actually Strange Supreme that's doing it all. If Wanda has managed to hear her children's cries, but they don't exist in this timeline, then it's likely that she's tapped into another reality. This could be one that Strange Supreme has access to as well, and he could be sending out bait so that she pulls him into a reality that he hasn't destroyed. Strange of course had access to the library of Cagliostro, and it is possible that when he was there that he also read up on the Darkhold as well as the interdimensional spells that it carries. Thus, once Wanda opens it and begins to study it herself, there could be a way to reach out through it into other dimensions so that he can pull himself across. Now though it wasn't really brought across to this episode, Cagliostro was a big villain in the Marvel Universe, and his books contained just as many evil spells as they did good. Being in his library for however long he was might have been just as corrupting to Strange as reading the books themselves, and it does make sense that he would have had access to darker text such as the Darkhold. Now Wanda and Strange also share a lot of similarities, and just in the same way that she was driven by the grief of losing Vision, Strange was driven by the grief of losing Christine. Add to this the fact that she has lost her children, and I think that the pair would be able to find some common ground in which Strange could manipulate her into doing his bidding. Christine is of course still alive in the main MCU timeline, and though he seemed accepting of his loss at the end, we know that he was willing to destroy reality to get her. Therefore, it just makes a lot of sense to me that he would try anything to be back with her, and the only person that could truly stop him is Doctor Strange. Thus, he could manipulate Wanda into opening the multiverse for him to travel across, and also drive the idea into her head that she needed to kill him in order to protect her kids. I think this would make for an incredible story, and as an audience member, you'd easily be able to sympathize with all sides of the struggle. Now, though Wanda is being put across as the big bad of that film, I think it would be an even bigger twist if it was actually the alternate version of Strange who was the true enemy. The film is going to be called In the Multiverse of Madness, and this is actually a play on At the Mountains of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft. In that, an expedition to Antarctica unearthed a hidden darker world beneath the surface of Oz that was lined with creatures called Shoggoths. Like Strange, these hideous beasts absorbed everything they came across, and they could assume any form. Potentially, the way that we see him in the final act is hinting towards this, as we can see that Strange is now a monster that can shapeshift and turn into all manner of creatures. Therefore, the title could be hinting towards what's really going on. I think it would just make the film far more intense if we see the MCU version of Strange taking on a version of himself that we know has already defeated other iterations of the character. He could attempt to absorb Strange so that he can return to somewhat of a normal form, and this would allow him to restart his relationship with Christine once more. I think Wanda would also be the perfect tool for this, as she too is grief-stricken and extremely powerful. However, putting this twist in place also gives her a way out, as I think that she could be forgiven if it turned out there was someone evil manipulating her. Either way, Strange Supreme is an incredible character, and I really hope that we get a live action version of him at some point. Benedict Cumberbatch is of course an amazing actor, and watching him flex both the light and dark side of Strange in a film would really add a completely different level to the Multiverse of Madness. It would also allow for a big twist at the end, and since watching the episode, I can't help but think that Strange Supreme might actually be behind a lot more than we currently know. Now obviously I would love to hear your thoughts on this theory and if you agree with me or not. Comment below and let me know, and just to let you know, we are running a competition right now and giving away 3 copies of the Zack Snyder DC trilogy on the 30th of September. All you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on the theory. We pick the comments at random at the end of the month, and the winners of the last one are on screen right now, so if that's you, then message me on Twitter at HeavySpoilers. If you want something else to watch, then make sure you check out our breakdown of episode 4, which will be linked on screen right now. We've gone over the full plot of the episode, did a big recap, bit of a review, and also pointed out some of the ties to the movie, so it's definitely worth checking out if you want to know more. If not, then thank you for sticking through this video. I've been Paul, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.